I think the long-term effects are that Latins are crooks. Like when you hear somebody say Latin or say in our culture, Puerto Ricans, oh, they're the car thieves. And that's a big stereotype because I think they have that in all cultures. And I think the long-term effect of it is that when someone tells you something enough, you tend to believe it. But culturally, everybody has to overcome the stereotypes, not just Latin.
I think the only reason why there'd be long-term effects if Latin Americans themselves hold on to the stereotypes and just don't move on from it.
No, there are no long-term effects. Of course, there are stereotypes, but it depends on the person, how they were raised, and how they carry themselves.
There's the stereotype where people think that Latin women are like spicy and ethnic and all that kind of stuff, and it basically sexualizes Latin American women into like this one stereotype. And there's also men that like take advantage of that think they're out there for their pleasure, which is totally not true. There's also definitely the stereotypes that Latin Americans are lazy, that they don't work a lot, that they're just here to make this economy worse, to make this country worse, and that gives us a bad image of why we're here for or who we are, which is definitely not accurate at all.
Do you feel that Latinos are represented well in the media? Well, I don't think they are represented very well.
Hay puntos que sí y puntos que no, porque no todos son personas que son delincuentes y no todos son personas que son inteligentes y consiguen llegar a sus metas. Estamos en el medio.
I don't think the media accurately represents any race correctly. I think they represent them how they want to represent them for whatever current situation, whatever movie it is, whatever show it is, whatever their perspective they want to gain, that's how they'll represent them.
I think they represent us in a way that they want us to be portrayed. Depending on, scenes and shows and movies, whichever character stands out in their culture, that's how they want it to be portrayed. I don't think they do any culture or any race or ethnicity right.
With Sofia Vergara, she's like one of the best paid like actresses in the world, which is really nice that like there's a Latinx person like thriving in the mainstream media, but I just don't like that thriving because of the stereotypes that people have of us. I feel like mainstream media also makes it seem that like most Latinx people can't like speak English well or like always have an accent. Like one thing I get all the time is people asking me like, oh, that's so cool that you like came here to the US when you were in 6th grade. How come you don't have an accent? And it like bothers me because like I feel like that shouldn't even matter. Like I don't like that's not something to like congratulate me on, I guess. Like it's nice that like like I worked hard and like now I can like speak English well, like that's nice. If you can understand me and I can understand you when we're speaking, like who cares?
I would say that the media is slowly striving for a better image of Latin Americans. I know over the past, I'm a communications major, so I know over the last few years we've had shows like Jane's Virgin, One Day at a Time, these shows where they basically put Latin Americans in a good light, where they put them in like a relatable light, and that's good and everything. But I know in the past that they have obviously stereotyped Latin Americans as like in these certain stereotypical roles, like oh they're the laborer, they're the janitor, they're basically these people who work very like hard physical labor jobs. And they never portray them as, oh, they're a CEO of a company in these like higher power positions, as well as also again with the stereotypes of them just coming into this country and for like all the bad reasons, which is again not accurate.
Absolutely. This is the best country in the world. This is why everybody wants to come here, because it's achievable to everybody. It's only not achievable if you go around feeling as a victim. You know, you're a victim to yourself and you're a slave to your own mentality. The United States is the best country in the world. I am Puerto Rican. I didn't have a choice to be Puerto Rican. I just happened to be born Puerto Rican. But I am super blessed, and I feel super blessed, and I feel blessed and grateful to be able to live in this country, best country in the world, that has that gives everybody the same opportunity regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation. It doesn't matter. If you work hard, you will achieve. And yeah, you could definitely reach the American dream. As a Latin American or as a Afro American, it just doesn't matter. Asian, it just doesn't matter. Absolutely, you can.
I think the American dream is achievable for Latin Americans and anyone else.
Seguro que sí, cualquier persona que se proponga a completar sus metas puede llegar a hacerla después que se lo proponga y esté enfocado en sus metas.
Yeah, it's achievable for anybody. It all depends if you work hard and you stay focused and you do it individually, you know?
Not at all. Because language is such a difficult thing to learn, especially when you're an adult in your 30s or 40s and you have to go to work all day. Like, it's really hard to learn English. And that's like such a huge barrier. Like, you could be an immigrant and work so hard your entire life, but if like learning English and learning all those words and the structure and all the rules, like, it's really difficult. And like, you can work like really hard, but like not being able to speak English like stops people from being able to like take advantage of so many opportunities. Like, working hard doesn't really equal like being able to have many advantages. Like, my mom, she came here from Puerto Rico and she has her bachelor's. I've forgotten what, but she can have like an administrative position, and like since Puerto Rico's a territory, she can like transfer her credits from Puerto Rico to the United States. But she tells me that she doesn't want to like, well, it's not that she doesn't want to, she can't obtain a job, and she can't like use her bachelor's degree to get a job because of the language barrier. I don't think hard work really equals like success in some instances.
The American dream, I would say, is sort of achievable for Latin Americans. Obviously, the American dream is basically the concept of someone coming to America and changing their life in their country. But I think over the past few years, people have forgotten what the American dream is and why people come to this country. And of course, also with recent laws and policies implemented, it makes it very harder for people to come here. It's scarier now, and it's more difficult. But I want to say, and I hope that it is achievable. In terms of uplifting one another, I feel like some people, such as myself, where they're in this position of privilege, when they have like citizenship and they have a voice, they can definitely use that voice in order to help Latin American people across the country, whether it's advocating for our own policies or whether it's something small like music, which kind of brings us together. Like, I know here in the University of Connecticut, they have the Puerto Rican Latin American Culture Center, and there I literally met a lot of people who were from a lot of different places, like not only Mexico, but like El Salvador, Honduras, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, etc.
Like, if I tell like one of my mom's friends, like, oh, like I have this exam coming up, she's like, oh, okay, like I'll pray for you, like you'll be fine, like you can do it. And I feel like religion is like a huge way that we use to uplift each other.
We are not victims. There is no progress without struggle.
I feel like people that like are already here, since like we've been through the process of like coming here into like a new environment and like the education system, the language, like everything, like since we've already been through it, we can like give them advice and like help them out and just support them in any way possible.
People in here in the United States have to offer, I guess, would be knowledge of what is here, what's not here, just support in general, I would say. I know that for me and my family, when we came here, we only had like maybe one other family member in the United States, and so it was very hard to adjust. Obviously, it's very difficult to adjust to a new country, especially when you don't know the language, you don't know anyone. It's scary, it's intimidating, but I feel like just, if anything, if we can all just like, not to be corny, but we can all just definitely support each other and help each other. Just by being a friendly face, just by, like, for example, if you speak Spanish and they don't speak Spanish, just translate like something for them, stuff like that. I know we can definitely help each other out and support.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.